All right. So I'm just a stupid dog, and I think this is the 6th episode of the Dog Wars. All right. So, anyways, turns out that the man who knew he had somebody he could call that would call him. He had a clique of friends. He was part of an association, and the man was just involved with selling fireworks to children 13 and under. And he would never sell fireworks to kids 14 and up because he's like, the kids who are 13 and under, they got paper outs, they bag groceries, they got to take their money, and they're making the money work for them. They got to reinvest their money, and then they're going to sell the fireworks to the 14 or 15, 6-year-olds. It was mostly like bottle rockets and them carbon snakes. You light the snake and I don't know how the snake worked. He sold a few M80s. He sold a few cherry bombs. He got some bigger rockets, but it was all big-time fireworks that the kids couldn't get on their own, but he only sold them to 13 and under. He always told them, be careful, kids. He made a good living on that. Then he had these pornographic graphic novels and pornographic comic books that he sold to only 19 and up. Anyways, that introduced him to a weirdo, total different kind of thing, and some people said he was a member of the cornbread mafia. I do not believe that. I'm a stupid dog. I do not believe the man was a member of the cornbread mafia. But anyways, something happened where the man, he's not like the Godfather, but he has the big manor house, so he's got everybody buffaloed. Everybody thinks he's more than he really is. Everybody thinks he's tougher. Everybody thinks he's got more power because he comes from a big, giant manor house. It's a big, giant manor house in a rich, elitist, posh neighborhood. Plus, I'll say this for the man. He doesn't sell off the artifacts. The man, he doesn't go on too many vacations. He goes to Florida, but only where his relatives live. He stays with his relatives for free. The man has a big, giant bourbon store. Underneath the manor house, there's a giant catacombs filled with big barrels of the finest wines, sherries, whatever they're, Chardonnay. They have all these bourbons. They have bourbons that, it's Kentucky. So come on, you don't think he's got casks? He bought casks. He's aged him. He's got, his granddad did it from years ago. His great granddad. The manor house has been sitting there since who knows when. They got bourbon down there that's like 127 years old. Don't worry about it. It's all right. Don't even think about it. Anyways, he don't have to pay a lot of money. So anyways, what I'm saying is he can save up his meager cash inflows, and he saves them up, and then when something happens, he's got to spend his money, then he's got cash on hand to spend. That's what they didn't figure out. The man, he's like a house poor, a manor poor, whatever. But when it comes time to go to battle, all of a sudden he's like, I got a few tens of thousands of dollars. He stretches it out. He has got a couple $100,000 cash. Plus he invests in things besides his business of fireworks and his pornographic graphic novel business. He actually invests sometimes in playing cards. One time he bought a Michael Jordan way back in the day. He bought a Messi. He bought a Farrah Fawcett. He sells these things all of a sudden. He's got like $80,000, $90,000 cash to play with. Then he invests it. He sold a Farrah Fawcett card one time for $26,000. Everybody's like, oh my God, that Farrah Fawcett card was worth $75,000. And then he put it into Tesla. Then he made a boatload. He had $89,000, and then all of a sudden Tesla started, whatever, and he shorted Tesla. He turned 89 into 1.27 million cash. He put that cash on his safe in his house. So whenever it comes time to go to the mattresses, the man's got the bullion. He's got the shekels to go to war. The problem is the man is an oxygen deprivation brain injury survivor. He admits it. He's like, I'm an oxygen deprivation brain injury survivor. What do you want over here? I mean, I'm not that smart. And I know what he's talking about because I'm not that smart. I'm a stupid dog. I know how to talk, but I know how to talk, and I can write now, and I can read. It took me a long time to figure out how to read. It was horrifying. That cat jumped over the hoop. The dog ran to the pumpkin. You're like, what? I'm reading these phrases. I don't even know how they're going to help me. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's going on. Anyways, The man, when it comes time to go to war, he's got that war footing. He's got that war thing. He's got this lobotomy kit, and he thinks that whatever he finds identifies one of his enemies, he starts talking about sewing their lips shut and going to Burger King and getting a milkshake, a delicious Burger King milkshake, and taunting them. He slaps the guy around. He boxes his ears. He smacks him with he fills a little piece of hose up with a bunch of nickels. And he slaps the guy around his head. It brings up these disgusting welts. It makes all these abrasions and these cuts. And then he sews their lips shut with cat gut. You know what cat gut is? It's the insides of a cat that they learn how to string. Artisans know how to turn the insides of a cat to some kind of string. It's the best string you could ever have. They used to make tennis rackets off it. In the 1920s, they used cat gut to make tennis rackets, okay? So this string is and he sews their mouth shut with it. He's got this big suture and little hook needle that he sews their lips shut. He pulls it tight. Then he slaps them around. He beats them with a hose, like an 8-inch piece of hose that he stuffed the end up with cork, and the other end he filled with nickels, and he holds it closed with his hand, and he beats them with it. And then he brings on a Burger King vanilla milkshake, and he tries to poke it through the lips where the lips are sewn shut. He taunts them with a Burger King vanilla milkshake. He's like, wouldn't you want some of this vanilla milkshake? And they can't even stuff the hole. He always says, you always want to sew their lips so tight they can't get the straw even through a little gap between the sutures. You don't even want to get a little piece of the straw through the gap in the sutures. And that's how you taunt them with the vanilla milkshake that way. But anyways, the man, turns out, he got involved with this thing, and he cut the lips off this one guy, and that wasn't even the hard part. You could get by without your lips, but he lobotomized. He lobotomized 2 or 3 guys, and it was a mistake. Turns out these guys were not in the cornbread mafia. These guys were not his enemies. These guys had nothing to do with nothing. And that was the thing. If you have oxygen deprivation, brain injury survivor, sometimes you think you know exactly what you're doing, but it turns out you were exactly wrong. He's so surprised, oh my God, dog, I couldn't believe it. These guys, I got them captured. I cornered them, and me and my boys, we beat the shit out of them. We sewed their lips shut. We started smacking them around. We taunted them with the vanilla milkshakes. I should have known right there because they didn't really respond to the vanilla milkshake torture. We tried to torture them by sewing their lips shut and then trying to stuff a straw through the gap in one of the sutures. And it turned out they didn't really respond that much. I was like, guys, do you realize, this is like one of the greatest tortures you could ever do. Maybe these boys are not involved in this thing of ours. Maybe they don't know what's going on. Maybe these guys are not warriors for the other side. It didn't matter. I still lobotomized them. Turned out they were all bankers' sons. These boys, they go hobnob down there in Boca Raton. They go to the Bahamas. They go to the finest restaurants. So these boys, they're bitches. They're elitist little assholes. So once I found out I lobotomized the wrong guys, I was a little bit sad, but then I realized these boys, they're bitches. They come from elitist families. These families have been holding us down. They've been trying to make us mokses. They've been trying to, make us their unterman. We're supposed to be their serfs. I was like, bullshit. So when I lobotomized the wrong guys, I was like, shit, I can't believe I lobotomized a whole, 3 guys. And they're from elitist families. They're trying to get us lawsuits. Once you start getting into litigious territory, you have to be worried because that's a lot harder to intimidate. Them fucking lawyers, they're like the rats that are leaving a sinking ship, and then they swim back and they crawl up there and they put on the captain's hat and said, we're going to, man the bilge pump, boys. We're saving the ship. We're going to sail the ship. They're like a bunch of rats that are sailing the ship, saving the ship after all the humans jumped off. I don't even know what's going on. Don't worry about it. What I'm saying is, I fucked up and I wound up lobotomizing a few boys that, they were idiots. They were bitches. They were little queers. By queer, I don't mean they were gay. They're like queers, like they're odd, they're funny. They don't, they're weirdos. They were babied so much that they became weirdo kids. I don't know. So the fact these kids were lobotomized, and I'm a stupid dog. It's like, the man, I'm telling you, man, we this is not good for us. This is not good. you should be a little bit worried. And he's like, the man was like, listen, dog, they can still procreate. So what? They can't pass an algebra test anymore. They can't get a big high score on the SATs. They can still procreate. Their kids are not going to be, you know what I'm saying? Once you get lobotomized, you can still have a kid, and the kid does not, the lobotomization never passes on. If the guy was a freaking moron, if he was, if he didn't have a high IQ to begin with, if he was some kind of a jackrabbit, you know what I'm saying, a jamokes, then yeah, he'd have a kid that would be like a jamokes. He couldn't spell the. He'd be like EHT, you know what I'm saying, EHT over here, you know what I'm saying? But he could pass it on. His kid's a big elitist kid. Just because he has been lobotomized, he doesn't know which end is up. He could still go have some kids. He could do whatever. So believe me, it's the worst things that could happen to you than to be lobotomized, okay? There's worse fucking things that could happen to you besides being lobotomized. So maybe you shouldn't worry about it so bad. Yeah, you're a casualty of the dog wars. Sometimes there's collateral damage in the dog wars, and maybe you should be so happy you're not in the ground moldering and the worms are feasting on your breast. You know what I'm saying? At least you are alive. You're above ground. You're breathing. Yeah, you're lobotomized, so go smell the roses. You can still smell the roses. You can still feel the sun on your face. You can still have healthy kids. Don't worry about it. So what? You know what I'm saying? I don't give a shit. Hey, sometimes shit happens. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying? I'm a stupid dog. I was like, the man, you are losing your mercy. You are losing your goodness. You are losing. And he was like, dog, don't start your bullshit. I was like, the man, you're losing that thing that made you a good guy. You are a good one. You are one of the good ones. You are merciful. The man was like, dog, do not start your bullshit. This is war. When you get involved with war, it's kill or be killed. And you don't have time to figure out who's the good guys and who's the bad guys. Everybody around you has to get the message. I'm ready to do whatever it takes, you know what I'm saying, to culminate this situation in my favor. And whatever it takes, whoever gets hurt, I'm okay with it. It don't matter to me. I mean, it's a vicious way to look at things, but I'm just saying, whoever gets hurt, it don't matter to me. I'm a young stupid dog. I was like, holy shit. I'm not sure what the man's problem is. The man used to be a good guy. Now I'm thinking, I don't know this version of the man. I do not know the man. I look at the man, I'm like, I don't know who you are anymore. Shit. I'm a young stupid dog. I don't even know what's going on. I mean, I almost wish I would just freaking die already. I'm like, I'm pushing 18. I'm 17 over here. I mean, when is this whole, take me now. There's nothing to take you. Take me now. It's like, you don't get to go, dogs don't get to go to heaven. So who's taking me? I don't know. That's all right. Don't worry about it. I'm a stupid dog. Don't even freaking worry about it. I'm not going to worry about it. Don't worry about it.